Perfect. Thank you, Haley. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
We'll switch over to the slideshow and we will get started.
Good morning, everyone. We are Montgomery Construction, also members of the Associated Builders and Contractors. Welcome to our presentation. Today, we will be presenting on the Fred D. Thompson United States Courthouse and Federal Building. So here we have our organizational chart, starting off with our safety manager, myself, Sandra Sare. I will be on the project for the entire duration. Just a brief background, I have worked with Montgomery Construction for the past 5 years, managing all aspects and elements pertaining to safety.
And good morning, my name is Tyler Coppinger. I will be the project manager for this project. I have been on the MC team for about 8 years now, and I'll be responsible for managing the project team, as well as following project progress and assisting in updating project schedules, monitoring costs, and providing oversight for our on-site staff. And I'll also be your main contact for this project.
Good morning, my name is Lorne Kitio. I'm the estimator of the project with 5 years experience of estimating construction. I work with Tyler during 3 past projects. Thank you again.
Good morning, my name is Alejandra Marroquin. I am the superintendent of this project. I have over 7 years of experience on the field. I will assist the Fred D. Thompson United States Courthouse and Federal Building on the overall direction of the field.
Just to cover some points that we will be covering in our presentation here, we'll talk about our safety plan, where we'll talk about our pandemic plan, and then our top hazards. We'll also move on to our project management, where we'll talk about some past projects, our key schedule dates, our BIM integration, and some site layouts. We'll also talk about our estimating, where we'll talk about some strategies that we use to come up with our key project costs. Finally, we'll talk about our methodology for our quality control, our commissioning, and then our project closeout. Starting off with safety, Montgomery Construction views safety as top priority. With our current situation, Montgomery College has followed some guidelines with our CDC, and this includes mandating face masks, requiring all personnel to practice proper hand hygiene, self-isolating when necessary, and then granting sick leave when requested for. When it comes to testing, Montgomery Construction does not offer on-site testing. However, we do refer our employees to Nashville General Hospital for testing. For our top hazards, as you look in our proposal, we have an activity hazard analysis highlighting major components of the project that require this. Now, I just want to briefly go over these few. Starting off with excavation, the risk associated with this will be cave-ins. And so in order to mitigate this, we'll have the area barricaded and flagging available. We'll also ensure that the excavation walls are laid back at a ratio of 1:1. I'll also talk about our current wall erection and our steel erection. These two have similar risk associated with it. In order to mitigate this, we'll make sure that all paths are cleared when elements are being moved to their permanent locations. I'll also make sure that hard hats, safety gloves are properly used at all times, and also employees working at heights of 6 feet and higher will be required to use their lanyards. When it comes to our locale, we have a pretty congested area and a small amount of space. So Montgomery Construction will meet with local metropolitan planning committee along with the school representatives to communicate construction plans. We'll also have a certified flagger to conduct traffic to minimize pedestrian and on-road traffic.
Thank you, Sandra, for getting into safety. I will, again, hello, my name is Tyler, and I'll be discussing some of our project management strategies. And as we reviewed our MC's approach for this project with a thorough review of our construction documents from the Fred D. Thompson United States Courthouse, we have understood, as Sandra mentioned, that we have a large superstructure made of mainly steel components built into bedrock for this location. We also have a number of glazing and precast elements on this project. And based on the RFP, we plan to provide full build outs for mechanical systems on the basement, first floor, and the penthouse level, leaving floors 2 through 6 as a core and shell for the third-party fit out. Moving into some of our past projects that help us in this particular element, we were responsible for the construction of Montgomery County Circuit Court, as well as the Orange County Courthouse and Circuit Court in Orlando, Florida. These locations were both located in a heavy populated area that required intensive traffic control plans, as Sandra had mentioned. We also have located items that have long lead items, for example, glazing and the elevator scopes of work. We use our relationships that we built in these projects, with these two projects, with our suppliers for a long-term relationship, and we hold that accountable in moving into this project. We've used this as a proactive planning process for our estimate and scheduling, so we've integrated these both together to deliver this project as quickly as possible and when we said we would. Moving into some of our
Tyler, are you still with us? I think we may have lost him. Okay.
Just give me 1 second. Just give him a minute.
Try to jump back on.
Okay, good morning again. Unfortunately, we lost Tyler, so I will take over. Okay, so here we have our BIM integration, where we use strategies to find some areas where we'll have some clashes with our MEP systems and also some steels. So we made sure that we came up with proper strategies to mitigate these clashes and to come up with better results. On to the next slide. Okay, so here we have our site layout where we have highlighted some key components on the project. So here you can see we have some GSA offices to the left of the project, and then we have some temporary utilities located. We also have some parking available, and then storage facilities, and some toilets available on the job site. With that being said, we have also indicated some traffic routes where we'll have our delivery trucks come in. As you can see to the church on Church Street, we have an entrance there. And with that being said, I will hand it over to Lionel to talk about our estimating strategy. Lionel, I think you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you again, Sandra. My name is Lionel. I'm the estimator of the project. To evaluate our project, we adopt a strong strategy to find the best overall cost of this project. First of all, we create a core stage estimating model by each stage estimating to get 80% of our total cost. In addition, we do a quantity takeoff to complete our estimate. Also, to make sure that our price is those used in Nashville, you use AHMIN 2020 to verify our price. This strategy leads us to get our key project cost. Now I will talk about our key project cost. Our key project cost consists of the overall cost of the project is around 15.75 million. And also, the general condition for this project is around 2.79 million. We also do a self-performing include finishes and landscaping for a percentage around 7.06% of the total cost. And this self-performing work is evaluated at $3.01 million. We also evaluate our cost per square to $175.35. Now I will pass to Alejandra to talk more about the quality of this project. Thank you again.
Thank you, Lionel. So about our quality control methodology, we're going to break down this process into 4-phase inspection program. So our first phase is the procurement, and where we'll include all the documents, the planning documents reviews, chain controls, and project sources like our materials. And I will be checking weekly the status of our deliveries for lead times. Our second phase is the preparatory phase. So we're going to conduct a meeting with the team management, with the subcontractors, and with the GSA to discuss all the important aspect of this, the current situation, and inspect the job site. The third phase is the initial phase. So I will perform an initial meeting with the foreman to maintain the project schedule and safety. And I will ensure that the personnel, the equipment, the material are in place. For our last phase, we will perform the following for ongoing work daily until the completion of the work. And we are going to document all the information into our daily control report. And at this point, we're going to make sure that all testing requirements and safety inspections are completed. And if there are any, we will ensure correction and reward for defective items. Now, I would like to talk about our commissioning process. So Montgomery construction policy is based on the documentation that specify all the system we're going to install, test, and start up. So some of the items we're going to commission are like the building envelope, the safety system, the MEP system, and the HVAC systems, and also the hydronic system. So this phase will occur during the construction phase, testing, and warranty phase. and its duration is going to be 58 days. For our project class out, for Montgomery construction, we start the project class in day 1. So the main purpose of our final phase of construction is to ensure completion and ensure that we meet the project specification and get the GSA acceptance. So our first item is communication with the subcontractors during the procurement. So for us, having an effective communication with the subcontractors is very important for the success of this project. So establishing a clear line of communication so they can identify points of contact and make sure that they're getting the right information or giving the right information to the right person. Our second item is our testing law. So from Montgomery construction, it's important to record all the project related issues, revision and field documents. So we have developed a detailed testing law to provide information regarding to the success of this project for each test we perform to validate the quality of our work. And then we have the MEP systems. So we will include all the components that have been installed and startup. So we are going to document all the proper operation for the systems. And then we have the final inspection. So we're going to verify that the building is completely done and ready to be occupied. And our last aspect of the project closeout is warranty management. So after getting the GSA acceptance inspection, we are going to provide 1 year of warranty. And even though the project is completely done, we are going to take care of the quality of our work and then make sure safety and quality requirements are met. Thank you.
Tyler, I'm going to stop having you as the presenter. I'll share your presentation and let you guys wrap up. Sound good?
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. I dropped out and I couldn't hear anybody, so I was trying to follow. That would be great.
No worries at all. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Your team stepped up and ran through it in your absence. So you can take a deep breath and rest confident that they carried the torch for you while you were gone.
Thank you.
Is this good, Tyler?
Yes, Haley, I appreciate that. So, to summarize MC's presentation, our team has highlighted that safety has been incorporated into all aspects of our work. That is duly because we think it is paramount. We touch base on past experiences that demonstrated our skills, as well as discussing the opportunities for the relook at the estimated bid date to today to save you guys some money. Finally, we have talked about our quality controls methodologies that we incorporate to exceed your expectations and deliver this project to you as soon as possible. And if we have a few more minutes, I'd like to offer the floor for some questions.
We do. So we'll thank you for your time going through all that, and thank you for all your efforts. A couple start off with a general question. The crane you guys plan on using are cranes. Can you just elaborate real quick on what type of crane, how many cranes you plan to have on site at the maximum? You know, it's going to be more than one, and the locations where you think you'll be setting those up.
Sure. I know our crane system will be a Kobelco 4300 crawler, which is available to lift up to 150 plus feet, as well as pick up one of the largest members of steel on this project. We plan to utilize that single piece of equipment for most of the steel structure during this project. as well as using it for precast and glazing applications. So we'll have one crane that is capable of performing all of the aspects of the exterior work and superstructure.
All right. Very good. Amanda, I'll turn the time over to your team for a round robin in the room there for any questions you all have.
Yeah, I know we're running tight on time, so I've got one. With your past experience with courthouses, what do you think is the longest lead item on this project that you're going to encounter here? And do you think COVID is going to have an impact on getting that here on time?
Right, that's a great question. I would have to look into some more specific items on our proposal and work with our estimator. I would believe if you don't mind, would I be able to get back to you at a later date for that question?
Sure. All right. So again, I appreciate the time, you guys, and I think you did good covering for each other. COVID is full of technical difficulties on all sides. So quick question for you. Self-perform. So you guys mentioned it in your estimating section that you had budgeted $3 million plus for self-perform, and the proposal didn't state what you guys were self-performing. So if you could talk through what scopes you guys plan on doing in-house.
Lionel, can you take this one?
Yes. During the time, because you have more time after our proposal and the presentation, you review our estimate and you find the way you can save the money to the owner. And this allows us to want to do more self-perform work, so you can save your money. That's the reason, the principal reason, to save money to the owner. And also to manage, to manage the people working on the job site, because you have more experience to do finishes and less landscaping. That's the most reason. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Quick question here. So just during the round of questions, you guys said that you guys plan to use the same crane for your steel as your precast. So does that mean, are you guys planning on erecting the entire steel structure and before you start precast or glazing?
So per the schedule, Nicole has integrated more of a progressional application. So obviously we need to put our superstructure up first before we'll have to get our precast elements. Some of the attachment methods for the precast will be started during the steel erection, but we would have to wait until the full project would be erect at that point to start precast.
Okay, thank you.
I got one real quick question on the estimate. I believe in your slide that you had for an overall construction cost, $50.7 million, is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
And when I went through your proposal, I think you had $56.5 million.
That is correct. During the time that we were offered from our submission date to today, we were able to analyze a few of the major scope items to actually decrease in some of the costs that would be implemented for this project. So we were able to find you guys about a little over $5 million in savings from our original bid. So I appreciate the extra time, and we utilize that to benefit you guys as best as possible.
Great.
Daniel, do you have any questions?
Yeah, one question. What do you consider the biggest risk for you on this project, or for the project in general, I should say?
Sandra, do you have some thoughts on that?
Yes. So for our biggest risk, I would say would be our curtain wall erection and our steel erection, just because they both have similar risk associated with it in terms of like falls and cuts. So in order to mitigate this, we'll make sure that our employees do have on their safety cut-resistant gloves, and they have on their lanyards to prevent them from falling and getting severely hurt.
All right, I've got a question on looking at your site logistics plan. It looked like you've got the GSA and Jacobs personnel are located there on site. Can you elaborate on what your plan is for those personnel once you start doing the site work and the location on your site use plan is going to be taken up?
Let's see. So could you restate that question one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, on your site plan, you're showing the GSA and Jacobs personnel in a specific location. Can you elaborate on what your plan is for those personnel, like where you're going to put them when you do the site work?
Understood. So that question could be answered. So during the phase that I showed you guys on the presentation, that will actually be during some of the foundation and excavation phase. Once the project is into conditioned air inside the building, we will actually be relocating the GSA into the building in their designated area on the first floor. So they will actually be that office trailer system will be relocated for the site work to be completed.
All right, thanks for that. Amanda and team, we've got a little bit more time for probably one or two more questions if you have any.
I've got just a quick one on the site use plan as well. I did notice it's a great layout, but I didn't see any spots for material laydown. Are you guys bringing it on-time deliveries, or do you guys have a local yard, or where's all the material laydown spots?
That's a great question. So in our crane utilization, we typically try to use on-time deliveries. That's what we've established with our relationships with these suppliers. So these would be on-time deliveries. We're trying to minimize laydown space as much as possible.
Hey Tyler, you did mention that this building's going to sit on bedrock. You talked a lot in the safety section about excavation. What's your approach to actually excavating rock?
So we have some consultants that have aided us in this, and our primary method would be line drilling. No blasting for this project due to its location, public facilities very close by. So we plan to use that approach for the excavation of bedrock or limestone for the final portion.
I'll piggyback off that. In your site U plan, it looks like you guys have haul trucks or what look to appear to be like Arctic trucks. What are those going to be used for, and how would you get them on and off the job site due to the neighboring streets?
So the vehicle that is located on the site is actually a pump for concrete. Those will be in and out as needed. The truck route will go in from 7th Avenue and can exit out either of the truck exits or construction entrances or exits.
All right, one final question, I think, to wrap everything up as we're running short on time and drawing to the end here. Wanted to question your commissioning services cost, and looking at the estimate and the budget, we were trying to identify what you had included for commissioning services. Can you tell us what you got included for commissioning?
Allie,
So,
did you answer this one?
Yeah, thank you. So unfortunately, our quality control manager couldn't be here with us today, is Danny Chu. So the total scope of the commissioning is going to be $35,000. And yes, we're going to include all the systems, hydronic systems, MEP systems, basically. And we're going to work closely with the GSA agent commissioning agent to complete the commissioning phase.
And Tommy, I would like to emulate that it is 1% of our mechanical cost.
Yes,
that's what we've.
The $35,000 is the 1% of our total cost of the project.
Okay, so it's included in your Division 23 mechanical number. Okay. That was going to be my next question. We didn't see a breakout for it on the recap. And so I wanted to just make sure we understood where that was at and that you guys had something included for it. So,
of course.
All right. Well, with that, we're about about at the 30-minute limit. So I want to thank everyone for your time, and let you know with the technical glitches, don't take those to heart. We understand everybody's going to go through those, so we're trying to account for those. We made sure to give you a little bit of extra time there during the presentation to recover from that, but be proud of yourselves. You guys stepped up and ran with it, and everything. Anything from the other judges as we wrap up?
Great job, guys.
Good job.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for the opportunity to give our presentation today, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
We will. You should have gotten an invite from Haley for the debrief later tomorrow. So we'll plan on reconnecting then, give you guys a chance to hear from Amanda's team specifically to the project and how they built it, as well as give you a chance to ask us some questions. So thanks again for your time and efforts, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Thank you.